Okay, on the bell ringer it says something about quadratic equation. Has A and B solutions where A is less than B. What is the value of 4A minus 3B? What was yesterday's bell ringer about? What is tomorrow's bell ringer about? And you're not going to be surprised. Today's bell ringer is still about factoring. Can we factor this expression? I need two things that add to give me 2 and multiply to give me a negative 15. 5 and what? Okay. He's probably right. 5 minus 3 is 2. 5 times a negative 3 is negative 15. So I have x plus 5 and x minus 3. Yesterday just said factor. It didn't say factor and solve. But today I know I needed to solve. Well, how do I know I need to solve? What word lets me know I'm supposed to solve? Solutions. It looks like solve. So I'm going to set this equation equal to 0. And I set each of the factors equal to 0. So I have x plus 5 equals 0. And x minus 3 equals 0. So I get x equals 3 as one answer. And x equals negative 5 as my other. I shouldn't say answer. I should as my factors. Those are my two solutions. Okay, which one's bigger? Negative 5 or 3? 3 is bigger. So it says, so which one would negative 5 be less than 3, or would be 3 less than negative 5? They're wanting me to pick them for A and B. Which one gets to be A and which one gets to be B? Is it negative 5 is less than 3, or is it 3 is less than negative 5? Yeah, negative 5 is less than 3. So A is negative 5, and B is 3. So they asked me to do 4A minus 3B. Well, that's going to be 4 times my A minus 3 times my B. So what is my final answer then? Yes, it's negative 20 minus 9, so it's negative 29, which is A. If you would guess, like Harrison and I did, we guessed the wrong answer. Because if I had guessed, I would have picked C, which I believe you did, didn't you, dear? No, I would have picked C because it was negative 1. Most of the answers are negative. 1 had been repeated. I would have assumed it was negative 1, which is a bad choice. Are there any questions about that bell ringer? It has a lot of stuff in it. It wants you to remember how to factor. It wants you to take the answers from you factoring and plug it into a different equation. It's got a lot of things in it wants you to do. None of that has anything to do with volume, which is terribly annoying. Okay, so we're on volume today of prisms and cylinders. I'm going to get my water bottle because it's on my brain. So we've been doing lateral area. Remind me what word I think of when I hear lateral. Label. I think of the label on my water bottle. You might want to find the label. Now, we talked about surface area, and that was when I want to wrap the entire bottle. And today is volume. Volume is like the liquid inside I got to fill it. If we're going to fill the container full of something, we need to know the volume. We're not going to wrap it. We're going to fill the inside full of something, the way my water bottle is full of some sort of pink-looking water. Okay, volume is as easy as it gets, I think. But again, we're throwing so many formulas at you lately. I am. I'm throwing so many formulas at you lately that I can see why it could all go wrong if you're not doing your worksheets and practicing on your own. I'm not even going to read the words. I'm just going to go straight to the formula for a prism. What was B in our other formulas? It was the area of the base. It's still for area of the base. And what was height in our other formulas? The H was, I know it was for height, but be more specific. Sorry, I said that wrong. Okay, so we were calling it I called it the length connecting the two bases. So looking at our first example on A, is 12 the height or is 25 the height? 25. Connecting two bases. So I look at my first example, and my formula for volume is just B times H. I see the H. The H is pretty easy, and then the number connecting those two triangle bases is definitely 25. I'll give you that. Now for the B, we have to find the area of the base. What is the base shape? It is a triangle. What is the formula for an area of a triangle? Okay, so A equals 1/2 base times height, because I got to find the area of a triangle, because that's what my base is. So it's 1/2, 10 times 12. I end up getting 60, because 1/2 of 120 is 60. So my volume is 60 times 25. I need to know that number. It should be a big one. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, dear. Okay, with volume, it's cubed because we're end up doing length times width times height. That's why it's always cubed. If you're going to start getting confused about the units, don't put the units, just put 1500. If you're asked to find the volume, it should be a big number. We're talking about filling the entire shape. That's way more stuff needed than just wrapping the shape or just putting a label on it. It should be a big number. Catherine gets her points for showing her work. I see she found the height, and I see she tried to find the area. If Catherine just pulls 1500 out of thin air, she's right on this time, but she could potentially make a mistake. We don't want that to happen. Okay, on our next example, it starts looking a little funky. We've got to figure out what is the base shape. This one's not as obvious. On the last one, it was obvious that the base shape was a triangle on our prism. What is the base shape on our next example? Triangle. It's still a triangle. I see the triangle in the front. I see the triangle in the back. It's still a triangle. So that height is still easy to find because it's still a number connecting the two bases. So what is our height? It's 15 because that's the number connecting those two bases. So this one's not as easy to read. But it's all still going to be okay. And then what's really annoying is, darn it, they didn't put a number down there at the bottom. So we know we need to find the area of that triangle. We know the formula for a triangle area is 1/2 base times height. I know the height is 18, but they didn't put a number on the base. They just put an A. I can't put an A down here. That's not going to work out for us. So here we are yet again. I swear you're either going to one day learn or... I have a triangle. I know two sides. I need to know the third side. What can I use to find that? I can use the Pythagorean theorem. So if you want to, 18 squared plus x squared equals 30 squared, you sure can. What do I like to use instead of the Pythagorean theorem if I can? A triple. This is a triple. This is a triple. But if you're never going to recognize the triple, start solving with the Pythagorean theorem. I mean, 18 squared is 324. Someone know the triple? It is a 3, 4, 5, so what should X be? It is 24. Okay, so I solved using the Pythagorean theorem, and I got 24. Or, Ayana recognized that 30 divided by 6 is 5. 18 divided by 6 is 3. So she really has a 3, 4, 5. 4 times 6 is 24. So her missing number is 24. So I need to know 1/2 of 24 times 18. What is that? Two. 215? I got 2. Is it 215? I got 216. I got 216. Okay. Okay, so I found the area of my triangle, which is my base, so I can plug in my formula. If Catherine makes a teeny tiny mistake and puts 215 instead of 216, but shows all of her work, she's going to get maybe 2, max 3 points counted off. I cannot count off much for that. Cannot. Okay, 216 times 15. And it's supposed to be inches cubed. Okay, are there any questions about our volume problem so far with prisms? I swear, once we know what the letters stand for in any of our formulas, we're fine. We just have to know what the letters are for. Okay, now we're going to do cylinders, and lo and behold, since there's circles involved, of course, pi is in the next formula. It's pi r squared h. One of our examples is easy. One of our examples is easier. You're lucky we're not going to have to solve any more triangles on our examples this morning. What is the radius of my first example? It is 1.8. What is the height? Again, that's the number connecting those two circle bases. It's still 1.8. So I need to know 1.8 times 1.8 times pi. What decimal do you get? It says round to the nearest tenth, so 1 decimal place. $10.2.
So do you not square the 1.8?
Oh, I forgot to do that. Thank you, ma'am. It's pi r squared h. Take your number, multiply it by 1.8 one more time. Thank you, ma'am. That explains why I didn't get the same answer as I did last year. 18.3. Okay, so you make a typo like Miss Compton. You write the right formula, but then you forget to square the r the second time. Harrison is showing all of his work. I really can't get that mad at Harrison for this. The only thing I can get mad at Harrison for is when he pulls numbers out of thin air. Okay, what is our radius on our next example? What is our height on our next example? So I need to have pi 8 squared times 5. Are there any questions about where this junk is coming from? You type it in your calculator and your final decimal answer is
1,005.
perfect. Are there any questions about volumes with prisms or cylinders? Tomorrow we'll do pyramids and cones, and it will be just as nice. It is nice as long as Harrison knows what the letters are for in the formulas. Okay, if I were you, I'd work on one of my mini worksheets. I intend to post a key